A very good morning, dear children. Today we are going to see the remaining part of the chapter number 2, Work and Energy. In the last class, we have seen information about work. Now, in today's period, we are going to see what is the information of energy or what is the definition of energy. Why does it happen? If a pot having a plant is kept in the dark, the plant languishes. Languishes means that plant is becoming dull only. So we know children with the help of sunlight, means with the help of solar energy, plants are preparing their own food. Okay, in presence of chlorophyll, means with the help of chlorophyll, these plants are preparing their own food with the help of solar energy. But if we are keeping this pot in the dark, then obviously that plant will not get sunlight, and due to that there is no formation of, or it will not get solar energy, and due to that plant will languish. Second example, on increasing the volume of a music system or TV beyond a limit, the vessels in the house start vibrating. So when we are increasing the volume of a music system or TV beyond a limit, the vessels in the house starts vibrating because obviously there is a sound energy is there. And when we are increasing this volume of a music system or TV, so obviously there is an increase in the sound energy, and due to that vessels in the house start vibrating. Now, third example, collecting sunlight on a paper with the help of a convex lens burns the paper. So, when we are taking this paper and when we are keeping convex lens, then obviously there is a burning of paper because from sunlight there is a formation of solar energy. And through sunlight, these rays are coming or they are collecting to one and the same point. And due to that, there is a formation of heat energy from this solar energy, and due to that this paper burns. Now let us see the definition of energy. The capacity of a body to perform work is called as its energy. The units of work and energy are the same. The unit in SI system is joule, means the unit of this energy in SI system is joule, while that in CGS system is erg. Okay, and same units are there for work also. You have learned that energy exists in various forms like mechanical, heat, light, sound, electromagnetic, chemical, nuclear, and solar also. So, in this chapter, we are going to study two forms of mechanical energy, that is potential energy and kinetic energy. Now, let us see first of all kinetic energy. What will happen in the following cases? A fast cricket ball strikes the stumps. So, when any fast cricket ball is coming and that striking to the stationary stumps, then obviously the stumps are also getting motion. Means they can also move from one place to another place. Okay. Then second, the striker hits a coin on the carom board. So when striker is hitting another coin through a carom board, then obviously the coin has also getting motion. Then third, one marble strikes another in a game of marble. So in the game of marble, children, what happens? One marble is, we are throwing that marble towards the another marble which is stationary. So that time obviously that stationary marble is also getting motion and it can move from one place to another place. So from the above examples, we can understand that children, when a moving object strikes a stationary object, the stationary object also moves. Thus, the moving object has some energy, part or all of which it shares with the stationary object, thereby setting it in motion. So, the energy which an object has because of its motion is called as its kinetic energy. So, the energy which an object has getting due to its motion. So, such type of energy is called as kinetic energy. The work done by a force to displace a stationary object through a distance s is the kinetic energy gained by the object. We know, children, work done formula, that is force into displacement. So in kinetic energy also there is a force for moving object, that is stationary object we have to move, and that is called as a force. Okay, so that force shows displacement for the stationary object along the distance s. So obviously kinetic energy is nothing but work done on the object, and therefore kinetic energy, that is Ke, is equal to F into S, because we are writing formula for work done F into S. But now kinetic energy is equal to work done, means obviously kinetic energy is equal to F into S. Now let us see, children, expression for kinetic energy. Suppose a stationary object has mass m and that is moving because of applied force. So stationary object is there. So obviously that object has initial velocity, that is u, and is equal to 0. Now let the applied force is capital F. So this generates an acceleration a in the object, and after time t the velocity of the object becomes equal to v. So velocity means final velocity of the object will become v. Then there is a time t, acceleration is a. Now the displacement during this time is s. So therefore the work done on the object w is equal to F into s. In short, we can write W is equal to F into S. But according to Newton's second law of motion, that is, force is equal to mass into acceleration. Means in short, capital F is equal to M into A. Okay. Now similarly, according to Newton's second equation of motion, we can write S is equal to ut plus half at square. But here initial velocity, that is u, is equal to 0. So therefore S is equal to half at square. So this is equation number 2. Now W is equal to, because we wrote now, children, equation number 1, that is W is equal to F into S. But now we got the value of F also and S also. So instead of this, we can write from equation 1 and 2, W is equal to M into A into half at square. Now after rearranging this equation, we will get half M into bracket at bracket square, because here after multiplication we are getting here, children, a square t square. This a square t square we can write a into t whole bracket square. Now this is equation number 3. Now using Newton's first equation of motion, v is equal to u plus at. So therefore v is equal to 0 plus at, because initial velocity is 0 only. So therefore v is equal to at. Now square on both the sides. We will get v square is equal to at bracket square. This is equation number 4. Now this value we will put in the equation number 3. That is, instead of at bracket square we can write v square there. So therefore W is equal to half mv square. This is using equation number 3 and 4. But the kinetic energy gained by an object is the amount of work done on the object. Kinetic energy gained by an object is nothing but amount of work done by that object only. So therefore, in short, kinetic energy is equal to W. And if kinetic energy is equal to W, then kinetic energy is equal to half mv square, because we can put instead of W that value also, that is half mv square. So this is the expression for kinetic energy. Now use your brain power. The mass of a moving body is doubled. How many times will the kinetic energy increase? So according to the kinetic energy formula, we can write, children, kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. But they had said mass of a moving body is double, means mass is double, then what will be about kinetic energy? So from this formula we can say that, children, kinetic energy is directly proportional to the mass of the object. Therefore, KE is directly proportional to M. So obviously, if the mass is double, then kinetic energy will also be double. Now let us see children potential energy. So try this. An arrow is released from a stretch bow. Water kept at a height flows through a pipe into the tap below. And third, a compressed spring is released. So which words describes the state of the object in the above example? So the words stretch, kept at a height, and compressed, these words are describing the state of the object. Okay. Now, where did the energy required to cause the motion of objects come from? So the energy required to cause motion come from, okay, that is energy stored in the system. Okay, so whenever there is a causing of motion to any object, so that energy is coming from that object itself, means from the stored energy of that object itself, and that stored energy is called as potential energy of the system. Now, if the objects were not brought in those states, would they have moved? So, if these objects are not in this motion, okay, or not in this position, then can they move? No. Then that time these objects will not move because they are not getting energy because there is no stored energy. Okay, and due to that these objects cannot move. Now let us see children the definition of potential energy. The energy stored in an object because of its specific state or position is called its potential energy. So whichever stored energy is there in that object because of its specific state or position, that energy is called as potential energy. Now hold a chalk at a height of 5 centimeter from the floor and release it. So when we are holding that chalk at a height of 5 centimeter and when we are releasing, so obviously the speed of that chalk will be less and it falls towards the ground. Now stand up straight and then release the chalk. Now afterwards you have to stand straight and then you have to release the chalk. So relative to first example, the speed of this chalk will be more and it will falls to the ground. Now, is there a difference in the results of the two activities? If so, why? So, obviously, children, there is a difference in this activity because there is a initial potential energy of the chalk is there. So, initially, when that chalk is at 5 centimeter, that initial potential energy of the chalk will be less. Okay, and there is a greater potential energy in case of example number 2 because energy stored energy is less, then obviously that object speed is less, and when that stored energy is more, then obviously that object speed is more, and due to that there is a difference in the result of these two activities. Now let us see expression for potential energy. To carry an object of mass m to a height h above the earth's surface, a force equal to mg has to be used against the direction of the gravitational force. So the amount of work done can be calculated as follows. So work done is equal to force into displacement. Therefore, W is equal to M into G into H. Because here force formula we know children, that is mass into acceleration. But here this gravitational force is there, and due to that instead of this acceleration we can write M into G, and displacement is nothing but here H, that is height only. So therefore W is equal to mgh. So the amount of potential energy stored in the object because of its displacement will be potential energy is equal to mgh. So therefore both the right hand sides of work done and potential energy are same. So we can say that work done W is equal to potential energy, and therefore the displacement to height h causes energy equal to mgh to be stored in the object. So this causes the energy equal to mgh, and that will be stored in that object. Now let us see one activity, children, based on this potential energy. Ajay and Atul have been asked to determine the potential energy of a ball of mass m, and that is kept on a table as shown in the figure. So what answers will they get? Will they be different? What do you conclude from this? Potential energy is relative. The heights of the ball with respect to Ajay and Atul are different. So the potential energy with respect to them also different. So the height related with Atul, okay, or height related with Atul from this ball to Atul, that height is h2. And the height with respect to Ajay with ball, that is h1. So obviously due to different height, their potential energies are different, because potential energy is related with height also. So potential energy formula is mgh. So therefore potential energy of the body with respect to Ajay will be mgh1, and the potential energy of the body with respect to Atul will be mgh2. And m is the mass of the ball, and this potential energy is relative only. So therefore this potential energy depends upon the values of h1 and h2, and hence it will be different in these two cases. So this potential energy will be different for these two cases. Now next topic is transformation of energy. Which are the different forms of energy? So mechanical energy, in that potential energy and kinetic energy, heat, light, sound, electrical energy, solar energy, chemical energy, nuclear energy. These are all different forms of energy. Now let us see some examples based on energy. Which type of energy is used in each of the following processes? First example is a stretched piece of rubber. So due to stretching, a potential energy is stored in the rubber band, which is released on releasing the rubber. Now second, fast moving car. So a moving car possesses mechanical energy, and due to that motion of the moving car, that is getting kinetic energy. Now third example, the whistling of a cooker due to steam. So due to more pressure in the cooker by conversion of liquid into gas, there is a pressure of potential energy only, means energy stored in the form of gas. Okay, and this potential energy is transformed into thermal energy due to heat, and again sound energy also. Now fourth example, the crackers exploded in Diwali. So in this crackers exploded in Diwali, there is a energy transformation in firecracker, that is of chemical energy to light energy, thermal and sound energy also. Now fifth example, a fan running on electricity. Obviously fan is running on electricity, so there is a electrical energy is converted into kinetic energy, means fan converts this electric energy into kinetic energy. Now sixth example, drawing out pieces of iron from garbage using a magnet. So obviously there is a magnetic energy. Now seventh example, breaking of a glass window pane because of a loud noise. So due to breaking of this glass, so already there is a store of potential energy, and when this glass will break, so obviously this potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Now next topic is energy can be transformed from one form to another form. Okay, for example, the exploding firecrackers convert the chemical energy stored in them into light, sound and heat energy. So here what happens, children? Mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. Okay, mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy when there is a fan. Okay, and then electrical energy is converted into mechanical energy with the help of generator. Now this electrical energy can convert into heat energy with the help of heater example. and this heat energy can be converted into electrical energy with the help of thermocouple. Now, electrical energy can convert into sound energy due to loudspeaker. Now, this sound energy can convert into electrical energy through microphone. Okay, so there are some examples of, that is, electrical energy to sound to electrical, mechanical to electrical, or heat to electrical, electrical to heat energy. Means there is a conversion of one form of energy into other form. Now one more example. Here light energy is converted into electrical energy in solar cell or photoelectric cell. Now electrical energy can be converted into light energy through electric lamp. So these are all the examples of transformation of energy. Now next topic is law of conservation of energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be converted from one form into another, and thus the total amount of energy in the universe remains constant. Means we cannot create energy or we cannot destroy this energy, but this energy can convert from one form into another, and due to that total amount of energy in the universe remains constant. Means whichever total amount of energy is there in the universe, that remains constant. Now let us see one activity, children. Make two pendulums of the same length with the help of thread and two nuts. Now with the help of thread and nuts, you can make two pendulums. Tie another thread in the horizontal position, and you have to tie one thread in the horizontal position. Tie the two pendulums to this horizontal thread in such a way that they will not hit each other while swinging. Means these two pendulums will not hit each other when they will swing. Now swing one of the pendulums and observe. Now you have to swing only one pendulum and you have to observe. What do you see? You will see that as the speed of oscillation of the pendulum slowly decreases, the second pendulum, which was initially stationary, begins to swing. So when first pendulum you are giving or you are swinging, then that time when that speed of that first pendulum decreases, that time that second pendulum starts oscillating. Okay, so from this we can understand that, children, this one pendulum transfer its energy to other. Means in short we can say that whenever there are two objects, then one object is transferring its energy to other object. Now let us see, children, new important concept, that is free fall. If we release an object from a height, it gets pulled towards the earth because of the gravitational force. So due to gravitational force only any object is coming towards the earth. An object falling solely under the influence of gravitational force is said to be in free fall or falling freely. Means due to gravitational force only any object is coming towards the earth or it is falling freely. So let us look at the kinetic and potential energies of an object of mass m falling freely from height h when the object is at different height. Okay, so with the help of this we can understand that, children, there is a kinetic energy that is having object m and that has height h, and when the object is at different heights, means first of all that object is at the top level, then it will come to middle, and then that object will come towards the ground. So there are 3 points for this, that is point A, point B and point C. So as shown in the figure, children, you will understand the point A is at height h from the ground. So this point h is there and that is at a height h from the ground. Means this A point to C point, whichever distance is there, that is h only. Okay. Then let the point B is at a distance of x. Now from B point to C point. Okay. So that distance is h minus x, because this distance is A to B distance is x. So obviously remaining distance, that is if A to C distance is h and A to B distance is x, then obviously remaining distance will be of BC, that is h minus x. Now let the C point is there and that is directly on the ground from, from the point A to B. Now let us calculate these energies for the point A, B and C. Means we have to calculate here the energy for object that is at point A, then point B and then point C. So all these 3 points we have to calculate this energy. Okay. So first, when the object is stationary at A, then that time initial velocity u is equal to 0. So at A point that object is not moving to anywhere. Okay. So that object is stationary only. So obviously that stationary object shows velocity u is equal to 0. Now kinetic energy formula we know children, that is half into mv square, means half into mass into velocity square. But here this velocity is u, means half mu square. Okay. So therefore kinetic energy is 0 because initial velocity is 0. So half m into 0 will be 0 only. Now potential energy for this object is mgh. So therefore obviously total energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Now kinetic energy is 0 plus potential energy will be mgh. Therefore total energy is equal to mgh. This is equation number 1. Now let us see the velocity for point B. So at point B, that velocity will be Vb. At point B, that velocity will be V suffix B, means that is Vb velocity. When it reach point B, having fallen through a distance x. So at point B, that distance between A to B point will be x only. Okay. So we can write here s is equal to x. Okay. And initial velocity obviously that is 0 only. Now acceleration A is equal to g. Here this acceleration will be g because here this force is applied through the gravitational force and due to that acceleration is equal to g. Now according to Newton's third equation of motion, v square is equal to u square plus 2as. Okay. So instead of v square we can write vb square is equal to u square means 0 plus 2 into, instead of a we can write here g and instead of s we can write here x. So vb square is equal to 2gx. Now kinetic energy formula we know children, half mv square. But here this v means vb square. Now half into m and vb square, that is from this equation we can write instead of vb square that is 2gx. So here obviously this 2 will cancel with this 2. So kinetic energy is equal to mgx. Now height of the object when this object is at point B. So height for this object we have to calculate at point B. So A to C height we know children, means from initial point to final point, that height is h. And we know here height for A to B also, that is x. So obviously the height for at point B will be h minus x. The height for point B will be h minus x. Now potential energy formula we know children, mgh. But here this height is in terms of h minus x. So instead of h we can write children here h minus x. So that is equal to this mg will multiply to h as well as x. So mgh minus mgx. So therefore total energy Te is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Okay. Now kinetic energy we got here answer, that is mgx plus potential energy is mgh minus mgx. So obviously this positive mgx will cancel with negative mgx. So total energy will be mgh, that is equation number 2. So this total energy is at the point B. Okay. Now let us, we have to calculate the velocity for object at point C. So that velocity will be Vc. So when it reaches the ground, that is at point C, that time initial velocity obviously 0. S is equal to h. Here S is nothing but h only. That is A to C point distance is there. That is h. Now A is gravitational force. So A is equal to G. Now according to again Newton's third law of motion, V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. So therefore instead of V square we can write Vc square is equal to 0 plus 2AS means 2GH. Okay. So therefore Vc square is equal to 2GH, and therefore kinetic energy formula is half mv square. So therefore kinetic energy is equal to half mvc square. So instead of vc square we can write, children, 2gh. So that is equal to half m into bracket 2gh, and therefore kinetic energy will become mgh, because here this 2 will get cancelled, because vc square value is 2gh, and that is half m is for kinetic energy only. So these two will get cancelled. So kinetic energy will be mgh. Now the height of the object from the ground at point C is h is equal to 0. So therefore potential energy is equal to mgh. So here this height is becoming 0, because now that object is at the ground only. So that height will be 0. So obviously here that potential energy will be 0, because here mg into 0 it will be 0. Now therefore total energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Now here this kinetic energy we got mgh, but potential energy is 0. So this is equation number 3, that is total energy is equal to mgh. This is equation number 3. So from equations 1, 2 and 3, we see that the total energy of the object at 3 points, that is A, B and C, that is same only. And thus every object has potential energy when it is at a height above the ground, and it keeps getting converted to kinetic energy as the object falls towards the ground. So on reaching the ground, that is at point C, all the potential energy gets converted to kinetic energy. But at any point during the fall, the total energy remains constant. So whenever there is any free fall is there, the total energy remains constant. So total energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. And when we will get that total energy at point A, that is mgh, at point B that total energy is mgh, and at point C also this total energy mgh. So we can say that this total energy remains constant. Now after getting information about energy, let us see new concept, that is power. Can your father climb stairs as fast as you can? Second example, will you fill the overhead water tank with the help of a bucket or an electric motor? Suppose Rajashri, Yash and Ranjit have to reach the top of a small hill. Rajashri went by car, Yash went cycling while Ranjit went walking. If all of them choose the same path, who will reach first and who will reach last? So in the above example, the work done is the same in each example, but the time taken to perform the work is different for each person or each method. The fast or slow rate of the work done is called as power. Okay, so when our father is climbing stairs, but they cannot climb the stairs as fast as we, because due to age power is also decreasing, and it is very easy to fill the overhead water tank with the help of electric motor, but with the help of bucket it will be difficult, because we need more power for it. Then in the third example, Rajashri takes car and Yash takes cycle, and Ranjit is not taking any vehicle, he is walking only. So this Rajashri will reach first because she has car, and car speed is more than that of bicycle. and whereas Ranjit is going by walk, and due to that he will reach last. Now let us see the definition of power. Power is the rate at which work is done. If W is the amount of work done in time T, then power is equal to work upon time. In short, symbolically we can write power P is equal to W upon T. In SI system, the unit of work is joule. So the unit of power is joule per second, because we know power is equal to work upon time. So if work done is joule, then obviously time is in second. So unit of power will be joule per second, and that is also called as watt. Now 1 watt is equal to 1 joule upon 1 second. In the industrial sector, the unit used to measure power is horsepower, because in industry there are big machineries are there. So they want more power, and due to that we are using their horsepower as a unit. And 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. The unit of energy for commercial use is kilowatt hour. So 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt, and for energy we are using kilowatt hour for commercial purpose. Now 1000 joule work performed in 1 second in 1 kilowatt power. So therefore 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 kilowatt into 1 hour. And we know 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 gram. So just like 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 watt. So instead of 1 kilowatt we can write 1000 watt into 1 hour contains 3600 seconds, because we know children 1 minute has 60 seconds and 1 hour contains 60 minutes. So these minutes we have to convert it into second. So obviously 1 hour contains 3600 seconds. So it will be after multiplication of 1000 watt into 3600 second, we will get answer 36 lakh joule. And that we can convert it into the power 10 raised to 6 by multiplying and dividing by 10 to 36 lakh. So it will be 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. Now electricity used for domestic purposes is measured in units of kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 unit. So in our house, whichever electricity bill is there, children, in that these units are there, that is 1 kilowatt hour, but they are showing the electricity consumed in the terms of 1 unit only, or in the terms of unit only. Means 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 unit. Means just like suppose 50 units are there, then there is a consumed of 50 kilowatt hour power. Now let us see an introduction to scientists. The steam engine was invented in 1781 by the Scottish scientist James Watt, that is 1736 to 1819. And this invention brought about an industrial revolution. So due to that invention, there was a revolution in industry. The unit of power is called watt in his honor. So due to that watt name, means James Watt scientist, the unit of power is got his name, that is a watt. James Watt was first to use the term horsepower, and this Watt scientist or James Watt scientist has used the unit as a horsepower. Thank you for watching the video, children.